Violence by Joraver Gill. Who is affected by an act of violence? Acts of violence include use of physical force that is intended to hurt, damage, or kill someone. Many people are affected by these acts as well as animals. Young kids in school face violence from parents and bullies at school. Examples of bullying. ISIS leader threatens New York to be prepared for bombs being exploded this 2018. Official acts of violence as such as normalize other forms of violence against humans. How are they affected in particular? Deprives children from our right to a healthy lifestyle. Creates fear in the mind of certain communities. For instance, attacks against Muslim women. In Lovely Bones, Susie Salmon was killed on December 6, 1973 by her neighbor, George Harvey. George Harvey brought Susie into a hole that he dug underground in cornfields. When she tried to leave, he grabs her, rips her clothes off, and rapes her and then murders her. This is more than violence. Susie was deprived from the right to live, the right to education. Why is this an important issue? Violence is a very important issue that needs to be solved before more lives of innocent people are lost. Domestic violence is a serious social issue and a national health concern with significant negative impacts of individuals and communities. It is a primary cause of injury to women according to the National Institute of Justice. Over one-third, 37% of women admitted to an emergency room of violence-related injuries are abused by their inmate partners. Additionally, 1 in 3 women are abused by a partner in their life. Also, an interesting fact is that 1.3 million women were abused in a year in the United States of America. The attempt to stop one violent act can help prevent from others. What is being done to solve this issue? Interactive conversations with newsmakers and experts in a variety of fields and are exploring a wide range of issues and ideas, including economy, politics, healthcare, education, culture, and the environment. There's also a website that can help people, and that is called Listen to Smart Talk Live Online. Every case that is reported is tended to go viral, so people know what consequences are to acts like this and are compelled to think twice what the penalties are. Schools have groups for those kids that are experiencing bullying. How is the social issue represented in media? Violence is present in many shows and movies. The effects of watching violent television on the following aggressive behavior of kids and have been studied. Violent video games and features guns and bombs can also lead to violent behavior in children. Cyber violence is also present. People behind a screen that harass, threaten, and emotionally abuse one another. In an attempt to reduce violence, media is utilized. News reports showing the cases of violence, interviews talking to parents that have children which have faced. Discuss the idea of voice and power. Who is the voice? Who is left out? And who is being heard? Voice is rooted in power. Those that are privileged and have power in our society are the ones that are heard. It is constantly the male dominant white privileged figure that gets heard and taken seriously. People are racialized, minority backgrounds are not given the same platform to put forward their experiences and violence. There is much need for a colorblind approach to be adopted by our legal system in order to serve justice to all individuals that have been victims of violent acts. The 3 books that I've read are Othello, Fahrenheit 451, and Lovely Bones. This quote was from the Lovely Bones. "You aren't leaving, Susie, you're mine now." This act forbidding Susie to leave is overly violent. He is no longer pretending to be nice. His word expresses the depth of brutality that will swiftly come. I felt huge and bloated. I feel like the sea is in which he stood and pissed and shat. I felt the corners of my body were turning in on themselves, and out. Instead of the violence itself, we are seeing its impact on Susie in the moment. Her inner life has been in matters of moments and transformed. And Othello. Okay, Fahrenheit. I'm afraid of children my own age. They kill each other. Did it always used to be that way? My uncle says no. 6 of my friends have been shot in the last year alone. 10 of them died in a car wreck. I'm afraid of them, and they don't like me because I'm afraid. My uncle says his grandfather remembered when children didn't kill each other, but that was a long time ago when they had things different. This also tells us that there was a lot of acts of violence in Fahrenheit. Also in Othello, Cassio and Desdemona are getting it on and decides that he will use Cassio to make Othello jealous. He convinces Rodrigo to fight with Cassio in order to get Cassio in trouble. This is another act of violence that people think that only violence is the way to solve an issue.